Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Hard West. Well, what's at the hospital? The only hospital in the region was housed in a Catholic mission and staffed by nuns. The Mother Superior greeted Cassandra and her companions warily, but told them she could tend to their wounds as required. Do you have any medical supplies for sale? Mother Superior explained the only medication she had in large supply was a powerful laxative potion. She handed over a tall dark green bottle with a label that promised its contents induced instant intestinal alacrity. Sure. We'll buy a bottle. With a weary sigh, the Mother Superior asked whether they required anything else. We do not. I don't know what we're gonna do with a laxative, but sure, let's have a laxative. Oh, I suppose we don't need the judge. We have weapons. Thought we already got rid of our nail bomb. Maybe we had 2 nail bombs? I don't know. Whatever. Point is, we can buy things. And we don't have talismans. No, we do. We have the Ojo del Muerto. That's it. Just the Ojo del Muerto. Well, then let's pick up the Oxen Skull. Since we have a butt ton of money, and we're going to get a butt ton of money later anyways. And the Skin Vest. Give you some cash for it. Have fun. In case there's a fight, we're ready. What's up with the pilgrimage? Cassandra and her companions came across a group of people camping out in the wild. They had numerous tents set up, along with carts and horses. There were wooden crosses and ornate incense holders everywhere they looked. A man wearing priest attire greeted them on behalf of his flock and said his name was K.L. Spas. He explained he was leading these people on a pilgrimage. They were currently enjoying a much-needed rest. Cassandra remarked that the beaten paths around the camp suggested that they'd been camping there for some time. Elspas winced and admitted in a low voice that Cassandra was right. They weren't resting at all. Actually, they were lost. His map turned out to be inaccurate. He couldn't bring himself to dash the hopes of so many pilgrims by telling them they had to go back. Thus far, he'd been able to convince everyone they were still on the Kalika Shrine Trail, while he secretly tried to figure out where it was. Now he's losing hope of ever finding it. Never heard of it. K.L. Spas explained that the Kalika Shrine was a pre-Columbian ritual site, said to contain carved figurines of human skulls adorned with Christian symbols, crosses, 3-cornered symbols, and fish. According to Elspas, the existence of these symbols confirmed that Christianity was the world's sole true religion. Unfortunately, however, the map he'd bought from a merchant in Adelante had proved false. Now he'd need to admit his failure and destroy the faith and resolve of his flock. Unless the true map were found, Cassandra finished for him. Unless the true map were found. Elspas nodded fervently. He promised to share his supplies with Cassandra if she found a map. He'd heard that the Garcia Pimentel family library might contain clues to the shrine's location. If time permits, sure, we'll go do that. Matron Pulqueria Adelmira Garcia Pimentel was one of the last of the venerable Garcia Pimentel clan, which had flourished in the New World for hundreds of years. Now the family was a shadow of its former glory. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. But the Garcia Pimentel Library remained the greatest and most complete collection of works detailing the New World and the rise of Mexico. Garcia Pimentel jovially greeted Lydia as Cassandra had introduced herself. Oh. Cassandra is Lydia, and guessed she was here to see the fabled library. Cassandra nodded, hoping quietly she could find the location of Kalika Shrine amid the books. The matron nodded and led them inside. They were joined by a scrawny figure in clothes that had once been very fine, but were clearly showing their wear. Matron Garcia Pimentel said this was her son, Porfirio, and that he would be their guide to the library. Cassandra curtsied, taking a closer look at the young man. On top of a hunched, scrawny body sat a large head with a bulging lump in the middle of his forehead. That sounds fun. His skin was mottled and unnatural looking. He inclined his head slightly at all times. She suppressed a shiver. Bodyguards. As they walked into the library, Porfirio told Cassandra about various landmarks in the area, spouting an endless stream of historical facts, interrupted only by his slight stutter. Although at first he seemed consumed by his study of history, Cassandra soon realized his trembling hands, darting eyes, and blush meant something completely different. He was attempting to court her. In another context, might have been endearing, but she was unsettled by the cold lump she felt in her stomach. Porfirio broke her reflections, asking whether there was anything in particular she would like to hear about. She asked specifically about the famous yet mysterious Calica Shrine. According to Porfirio, the Calica Shrine was the crown jewel of the area's historical attractions. Believed to have been built long before the first Europeans set foot in the New World, it contained several painted sculptures called calicas that inexplicably bore ancient Christian symbols, fishes, crosses, and various three-cornered ornaments. The shrine was considered by many as the ultimate confirmation that Christianity was the world's one true religion. There had been a minor military struggle over who controlled it, with the winner doing their utmost to camouflage its position. When they met their downfall, however, its precise location was lost to history. At this last sentence, Porfirio deformed lips twisted what Cassandra's interpreted as an approximation of a smile. She guessed aloud that he knew so much, she was sure he must know the location. The young man looked away shyly. Cassandra pressed, he nodded, his deformed head in confirmation. He said to tell Cassandra the location in exchange for a kiss. I mean, we could say, we'll give you a kiss with our gun. Point our gun up to his lips. How's that for a kiss? But no, that's not an option. How about this? Caressing his cheek and fluttering her eyelashes, she promised she would do it, so long as he told her first. He can tell us and we can just leave. And never give him the kiss. Clearly not used to being treated this way, Porfirio blinked a couple times, then went to his desk, produced a detailed map of the area from one of its drawers. He then pointed to the exact location of the shrine to Cassandra, and copied the major landmarks on a piece of paper, which he gave to her. Then he closed his eyes, presented his lips for a kiss. You could use the gun! Oh, you could use the gun. Oh, that's something I actually was hoping for. I want to use the gun because the guy's trying to extort a kiss out of us. Like, that's the primary reason. The fact that he's, like, deformed and whatnot, like, that's not a big deal. And honestly, I'm not too concerned about that. It's more of he's extorting a kiss out of us sort of thing. You know? That is why I want to use my gun on him. That being said, we might need him later for something if he knows so much. Or I could just be an idiot and we'll never have to use him again. But I'm going to go ahead and say kiss him gently because if, perchance, we need him later for whatever reason, I want to have him on good terms. You know? As soon as her lips touched his, he grabbed her head and forced his tongue into her mouth. Yeah, backhand him to the floor. I agree with that. He smiled a sheepish, contented smile at her, then motioned back to the hall where the rest of her companions were waiting. She was happy to get out of this place as quickly as she could. Indeed. Yeah, inebriation. For wait, Andrew? Cassandra's heart sunk when she reached the foyer to find Hardin unconscious on a chaise lounge. Lady Garcia Pimentel explained that she had left the group alone with a bottle of brandy and returned to find him like this. She suggested that Cassandra and her friends stay the night and leave the morning. What's going on here? Premonition. Cassandra felt a great danger emanating from the Garcia Pimentel house that extended far beyond kissing disfigured men. In a blink, she had a vision of herself in a bridal gown that was slick with blood. What? She blinked and the feeling passed, leaving a painful throbbing in its place. What? What is gonna go down here? I almost want to accept the invitation just to know what's about to happen. What the frick? A bridal gown slick with blood. So was I gonna get married and then straight up murdered somebody? Like, did I sacrifice the guy who tried to shove his tongue down my throat? Like, holy crap. I'm gonna accept the invitation because I'm really intrigued by what could possibly go down here. Oh my goodness. What even is this? They were shown to their rooms. Cassandra was given a basin of hot water. Her premonition had put her on edge. She did not want to stay in this place any longer than she absolutely had to. She put out the lights, but did not undress. She lay on the bed and pretended to fall asleep and waited until the house was silent. From down the hall, she heard a strange, snuffling moan. When it recurred, she deduced it was Porfirio's snores. She waited a little longer to be sure, then decided it was time to make her move. She woke the now sober Hard and told him to remain silent. The two quietly made their escape. What the What if we hadn't had the premonition? What would have happened? I want to know. Oh my goodness, I gotta know. What happened? That's awful. Let's go back to the pilgrimage, help the holy men. Ask them bluntly how much he's willing to pay for the information. I have the map. Elspas called Cassandra a false prophet and a fraud and accused her of trying to profit from artifacts of one true god. By her expression, however, it was clear she had seen right through him. He instantly calmed down, admitting in a low voice he had scammed the pilgrims into funding his expedition here. He offered 8,000 for the location of the shrine. I'm not going to sell for such a small price. Elspas shrugged, boasting he would find some other way, turned away, and walked away clearly furious. Well, alright, well I guess we can't just take him up on it. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the fabled Calica Shrine. Built into a cliffside, the pieces of masonry hanging from its entrance indicated that the river had been eating away at the land for some time, and was now biting the actual construction. Getting inside would be quite dangerous. Well, try it. After struggling with the ropes, the party entered the mouth of the Moldy Tunnel in complete darkness. The floor shuddered with constant vibration, and there was a clattering sound that sounded like thousands of crustaceans skittering across stone. They then emerged into a bigger room where two narrow rays of light sifted in from the surface. The shrine looked ancient and distinguished. Apart from the skulls decorated with Christian symbols that lay everywhere, these must be the Calicos. Huh. If we take them, we can probably sell them. I mean, what if we just go back? Hardin protested, but Cassandra was adamant. The shrine must be left intact. He rolled his eyes at the fickleness of women, but turned back. As they retraced their steps up the narrow corridor, they felt as though they had done something good and righteous, which cheered the whole party. They were barely out of the tunnel when the earth beneath their feet trembled, and a large section of cliff fell into the water. The entrance to the Kalaka Shrine had collapsed. It would take serious excavation to get back inside. Well. We don't have any money, but that's alright. I guess. Huh. Bustling town of Adelante was full of new buildings and prosperous people. The copious construction work in town was sponsored by almost single-handedly by Mr. La Fortuna. For the denizens of the Western Territory, La Fortuna was the embodiment of prosperity and modernity. Well, what's in the cantina? Xander was pleasantly surprised to find the cantina appeared safe and well run. Give me a room. I need to refill. Xander and her companions enjoyed a good night's sleep in a tidy room. Good. Reviewed the latest headlines in search of any mentions of her misadventures. Xander's brush with the law had only been minor, it seemed. She found only a small note about one of the events she'd been involved in. Okay. They felt awkward about making such a seemingly lowbrow request. Cassandra suggests they find the local brothel with a vision. When Cassandra told Hardin they should find the bordello, his eyes lit with unsavory glow. She admonished him sternly, insisting this was strictly a business outing. Her head was already starting to ache. It was only a matter of time before it dulled with pain for hours or even days. They arrived at the brothel in time to witness a violent quarrel. An older, flamboyantly dressed woman beating an Indian prostitute with a billy club. Cassandra guessed the older woman was the bordello's madame. Hardin stared at the scene, frozen for a moment, agog. An instant later, Hardin rushed at the madame, landing full force punch in the middle of her face with a crunch. As she sprawled on the floor, dazed and screaming, Hardin rushed to the native woman, helping her up. She hugged him as she cried, covering him with kisses in a way that suggested they had more than a passing familiarity with one another. Hardin motioned to Cassandra to get out of sight. She ducked in the nearest back street. Hardin and his native acquaintance joined Cassandra as soon as they could. She wasted no time reprimanding Hardin for attracting the attention of the entire town and doubtless the authorities. Hardin explained he had no choice. It was his duty to defend Felicia. Apparently, they had known each other for some time. Cassandra guessed Hardin was one of her regulars. Felicia apologized for the trouble, but said that without her job, she had nowhere to go. Hardin suggested she could join Cassandra's posse, as she was a good shot and good company. No, we'll do it. It might attract unwanted attention, but having an additional person is not a bad thing. Felicia thanked Cassandra profusely and promised to be a valuable asset to the team. I hope so. In the cantina. Rest again. Misadventures? Nothing. Alright. Go to the general store. A modest but adequate selection of goods. Snuff, tobacco, cocoa, healing elixir. Yeah, nothing that I care about. What do you have? A 6-shooter? That's it. Well, since all you have is a 6-shooter, I think we can justify maybe getting you the judge. Wait. Also, we need one of these. Doomsday Watch. The Native American gets a Doomsday Watch. Fun. Alright, before I forget, let's make sure that we set this up properly for the future. I don't care about a mandrake root. I'll give you a healing herb, though. Does everyone have something for healing? Yeah. Alright. Well, you need an ox's skull. Because you don't have like, any health. And then a skin vest for Paco. Very good. Alright, well then I guess that'll go and end it, guys. There's a Mexican army fort and a gambling den. Excuse me, and a gambling den. Seriously though, what? What would have gone down here? That intrigues me. That intrigues me. We'll see to it next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Thanks to Amphid and Simon for being Patreon supporters. I'll see you guys all next time with more Hard West. Thanks for watching, and DFTBA.